And here we are. Plug in your computer.
It is plugged in.
It is plugged in. I just realized that.
You may be having performance issues. That's what she said.
Sorry, guys. We just realized we weren't recording for the video. So, patrons, we love you. You've missed only 2 minutes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So, we're talking about May and June.
Yep.
So, yeah, I think, after surgery, you've got a lot of shit coming up. You got a lot of, you're trying to come to grips with like your mind, losing weight. Not only that, but you're constantly thinking about food, like
all the
in a
time.
different way. Though.
Yeah.
It's not like, what am I going to eat tonight? It's like constantly planning your water, your protein. And then you're thinking about like, when can I fucking eat soft foods? When can I actually eat a real meal? Like, it's just different.
When you're counting it down. Like, I remember legit, like, right after post-op, I was just, like, on a calendar. Okay, day 1's done. Liquid done. Like, just slowly checking them off because I was like, I'm going to do every stage. But I definitely am like, okay, 2 more days. You can do this. All right, 1 more day. We can do this.
We can do this. We can do anything for a day.
Yep.
24 hours.
What's going to be the soft food? What are we going for?
Yep.
Yeah. So it's like, it's just a lot to unpack. And then, like, the mental game starts creeping in immediate. Like, I would say around week 2 or 3, I would say for me is when like realizing, oh, there's a connection here. I am sad and angry because I can't eat things and a lot of emotions come up. And you guys know I didn't have any therapy. So I just kind of like processed it myself. And you got to have therapy, thank goodness.
I did. But we also sneak peek, you guys. We recorded with some therapists.
Yes, we have.
And realizing when I'm talking to these therapists that are specializing in bariatrics, I realized that I did not get the correct therapy.
Yeah. I noticed that when they were talking with you, I was like,
sucks.
I was like, oh shit. Like, you got therapy, but it wasn't specialized enough.
We both were just kind of like, we didn't do. Like, I know you didn't
I knew I didn't do anything. So I was like, yep, I meet all of these marks because I never got help. So,
but I mean, it also, like, there was a few moments where we were like, oh, shit.
Yeah, they silenced us for a second or two.
Yeah. And I mean, you guys know that does not happen very often. But when you silence us, we're internalizing
everything,
all of the stuff.
Well, for me, what was happening was flashbacks. Is what was happening. Like, oh, I did that there. Oh, I did that there. Oh, this makes more sense now. Like, I really was like a binge eater, but not realizing I was a binge eater.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, because I always assumed that binge eating was just like at nighttime and you have to have like all of this food at once.
Copious amounts of food.
Yeah, like you're going through your cupboards and just being like, just in it. But I really, that is some sort of
that's what I do
of binge eating, but there's also smaller levels to it. Like there's up and down, which you guys will see. You
guys will see it. And we have 2 that we recorded with, and they're fucking amazing. They're so awesome. They're so different.
They are, which is really cool.
But I loved both of it.
Yeah.
Like, the one thing that really resonated with me, and we talked with them after I had my breakdown.
Yes. Yes.
So it was, no, the first one.
Yeah. So if we'll go back a little bit. So Maybell was Sleeve Academy.
That started
opened our eyes and started it. And then when you actually cried 2 minutes before we went on with Dr. Shapiro.
I did. I had a little tiny breakdown, and then I was like, Kelly, suck it up. You got to be on. You got to record. Like, if it was something like this, I would just roll with it and cry, and like that's what it was.
Yeah.
But being in a professional, you kind of have to suck it up and you have to do your job.
Yeah.
Even though this isn't like, it doesn't feel like a job because it's so fun. But you still have to be on.
You have to be on.
You still have to figure it out. So then after we were done with Dr. Shapiro.
That's where everything, it was super helpful.
It was. Because I think we both processed a lot and we both cried. We talked.
Yep.
Like, it was like, what, 45 minutes of us just
I know. I thought it was funny because I was like, well, we're done, but like we're still down here and no one checked on us. And normally they kind of like peek in and see, are you done yet? Like, because like normally Eric or Dylan's like, someone's like, what are we doing for dinner? Or they're making dinner.
Nobody bugged us.
And no one bugged us. So it was kind of perfect.
It was perfect. And it made us like come to grips with a lot of the stuff that's going on because something that like Mel's the crier out of the two of us. Like she cries. I cry when I either get really, really frustrated or I'm just, there's too much stress. And the last couple of weeks, last month and a half, I have just been off. And I don't know if it's that, like, I'm trying to come to grips with everything that's going on. And the stupid fucking thing is I'm still stuck in this house that I own with Satan.
I know. And it's not helping.
It's not. It's like the walls are closing in on me.
Right.
And it's really, really hard for your mental health to physically and mentally move on from a relationship when you are surrounded by all of the memories.
Well, and that was kind of for me what was hard to understand because like the way that my life is set up, like I'm just like, you know, busy, go. I don't even have time to even think about my own feelings until like nighttime, basically, because I compartmentalize throughout the day. And then I'm like,
you're really good at that.
And then I need to feel all the feelings at nighttime and I kind of figure it out. And for me, it was like, girlfriend, you get a house alone? Because I'm like, and I'm thinking like of me if I was like,
yes,
if it was just me of how I would feel. And it's obviously different because you're going through the trauma. But if I was just like, pick me up and put me over there, it's like, dude, I'd be working out every morning. I have no one telling me what to do. I'd be walking around naked. I'd be like, I'd be fucking on point with all of my work. Cause I'm like, yeah, no one's here to bug me. Like I would just be like, in it and just be like, fuck yeah. And so like, it was hard for me to grasp of like, what is going on over there? I don't understand. Like you're up before me. You go to bed sometimes when I go to bed or even like later because like your sleep's all fucking gnarly.
It's all wonky.
And I'm just like, I don't understand what's happening over there because I'm obviously not there 24/7. So like, and that was kind of what led into our conversation too with Dr. Shapiro was I asked, I was like, I just don't understand what's happening. Like, what's your daily look like when you wake up? Because it's different for everybody. And trying to understand where you're coming from, because I was just like, I just don't get it. Like I was just so confused. But after having the talk, it's like, this makes more sense. Yeah. I get it now. I just needed to we just need to communicate because guys, like, even though we're best friends, like we can still have communication problems.
And I mean, we read each other's minds a lot. Yeah. Like we're with each other a lot. Yeah. But there's certain times where it's like, I internalize the stress. I internalize all the things. And I got really good at pretending. Yeah. When I was A, with Satan, and B, when I was really hurting. Yeah. Because I would just pretend like it wasn't happening. Right. And I would do what I had to do. And so that continues like in this stressful time of the divorce. Like I'm still, I pretend. I pretend that everything's fine and I put on this happy face and I do what I have to do. But internally, I'm kind of like breaking apart.
You were slowly breaking down and you finally hit your breaking point. And then we got to talk to Dr. Shapiro and then we felt good and then we cried it out.
And we cried it out. We cried it out together. We talked about it. And I think the other thing is that I like... It's hard to explain where what I'm feeling.
Yeah, I'm learning that you don't know how to like explain the thoughts because part of one of the tricks that not tricks, but tools that they taught us was like columns and writing stuff down.
Exactly.
Because you said like, I don't know what I'm like, how I feel. Like I'll look at the paper and it'll be blank.
Yeah. And I just don't feel like an idiot because I'm looking at this paper and I'm like, I don't know what to write down. Like, but I can make lists like nobody's business. Yep. So like that is a really good tool for me. And then also like coupled with the fact that I've never lived alone in my life. Right. So this is a first for me. Like like when I wake up, I don't have anybody with me. And like Mel's lived alone before.
It's fun.
It's definitely fun.
For 2 years, I lived alone. And that's why I was like, I get excited for you because I'm like, you don't know what's going to happen and it's going to be so cool. Yeah. Because when you leave shit there, it's still there.
It is. It is.
You know, like you don't have to yell at anybody about a mess because like
I made it.
You're the one that made it, you know? So it's like a lot less stressful when you live by yourself because like it's all you. It's all you.
Which is, it is nice. It is nice. Don't get me wrong. And I think if I was in a different house,
right,
it would be like, I would be having more fun.
Yeah.
But I also think like I was beat down, like not physically, but emotionally, I was beat down over the years. And I was broken.
What I've learned over the last 2 weeks with all like hearing, like talking to the bariatric people or therapists is like, you've never had a safe place to just have your feelings.
Correct.
Because like when we were talking, like you saw me, I wasn't yelling. I was just listening, reacting, validating your feelings.
Yes.
Like, I'm like, yeah, I totally get that. Like, and I've noticed like you never had that with someone. So it's probably hard for you to open up because you're not used to having like, oh, I can be completely safe and do all the feelings and not have to worry about it.
And we had that conversation.
Yeah.
Like down here, I feel safe.
Yeah.
I feel safe in this area. Like I can share whatever I need to share.
Yep.
But when we go upstairs, I'm back to everything's fine.
Yeah. I'm like on. Like that's how I feel too sometimes.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I just have to be on.
You have to be on.
Yep.
And down here, like we can cry, we can get into fights. We can do whatever we want.
Yeah.
And so it's like, this is my safe space. And I didn't realize that this was my safe space until we were talking about it.
Good.
So,
I'm glad that you've figured it out.
Yeah. I'm like, it's okay. It's okay if I cry. It's okay if I am having a bad day, like a bad week. Like, but I think I'm finding out like I need to be like, I'm having a hard time. I need to explain it.
Yeah, you have to vocalize it. Because like we are in each other's heads a lot, but I can't read what level you're at.
No.
And that's common. Like I'm not going to be able to read even Eric. Like I can tell that something's going on, but I'm like, I don't know what it is.
Well, and it was like I couldn't explain it.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to do about it, about the feelings. I think that, you know, has a lot to do with the fact that I do have depression. I do have anxiety. Yep. I do have a lot of things going on in my brain. And there's sometimes where it's hard to get out of my own way.
Out of your own head. Yeah. Like you were self-sabotaging.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I was noticing, I'm like, why are you doing that? It was just so confusing to watch because I see Eric do it every once in a while. So I'm like, I'm used to it a little bit, but I'm like, I've never seen you do it. And I was like, why is she doing that? Like you have all the tools, but it's just like you're self-sabotaging, which we've learned is like, it's just like a coping mechanism. Like it's just you trying to deal with all the things because like you were getting really frustrated about your eating. Because like you guys know when you guys get kind of a couple years out, like you're gonna gain the 10 to 15 pounds. Like guaranteed
that first year,
it's gonna happen.
Well, once you hit your goal weight, most of the time, I
think everybody's just different. Like because I didn't hit my 10 to 15 pounds until year 2.5 to 3 is when I hit the 10. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And I've sat at that. Like I went from 179 to 192 and I've just sat for like 3 years.
That's
where my body, I go down a couple pounds and I go up a couple pounds, but I've never like gotten back down to 179. And I'm like, you know what? I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
You know what else kind of was frustrating? I just thought of that as you were saying, like the 10 to 15 pounds. I tried on my clothes from last summer, right around the time I was having.
Oh, no.
And none of my shorts fit.
Yeah, that's a mental
because I was 141.
That's a hell of a difference. Like for sizing. Yeah, because you were in like what, extra smalls and shit?
Extra small, size 2.
Interesting. And now you're like a 6 and a medium?
Not a 6, yeah. 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 I think comfortably in a medium. Some of the mediums can be a little big.
Yeah.
So it's like a small or a medium. But that could have also started it.
Well, that's definitely, I think it played with it. It played a role. Yeah. It would have to because we all know like if when we try on clothes and it doesn't fit, you're like, we instantly go, oh my God, I'm like fat again. Oh my God, I've gained like 100 pounds. Uh-oh. And like alerts go on and then you start freaking out inside.
Yep. Yeah. And I had to go and buy more shorts. And
you got a lot of shorts.
I did get a lot of shorts. Well, I found, so Kendall and Kylie Jenner.
Oh, the Jenners.
The Kardashians, whatever. Yeah. They made shorts or like jean line or something.
Okay.
Or they have a clothing line. I bought a pair of their shorts at Marshall's because I was like, oh, these are really cute. It's those dark black ones.
Okay, yeah.
And so I tried them on and I'm like, these are the most fucking comfortable shorts I've ever had.
Oh, good.
They're high-waisted.
Yeah.
They don't like cut into your legs. Like they are the perfect shorts. So I found 2 other pairs that were by them, different like colors.
Okay.
And so I was like, $15 a pair? Sure.
Deal.
Yeah.
Deal. Sold.
So I did buy some shorts, but
Yeah, but they probably made
that's
you.
what I live in.
But you felt good, right?
I felt way better once
Yeah.
I had shorts that fit me.
Yeah, I think that's a huge contributor of like feeling better in your, because once you feel good in your clothes again, then you
you're
can,
fine.
then you're mentally can slowly start unpacking other things that you need to deal with, because that's like, we all know we stress so hard on our body when we were bigger post-op, you know, I mean pre-op. And then the post-op helps for the confidence to come back in and then feel comfortable in your skin. But you gained, and so you weren't feeling comfortable.
I wasn't feeling confident about where I was at. And like, I have stretch marks. I have loose skin. My legs are not my favorite. Like there are things that I was stressing about that I didn't need to stress about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I can't do anything about my stretch marks.
Nope.
I can't do anything about the loose skin on my thighs unless I want to go get plastics, and I can't do that right now.
Right.
So why am I stressing? And that's the anxiety part.
Yeah, because I know like when we talked, I was trying to get you to only worry about the things you can control.
Correct.
Because that's what I've learned over the years is like the anxiety goes nuts on all the things you can't control. And you realize you can't control people either. I had to learn that the hard way with Eric with going through this process, realize I can't control what he eats, what he wants to do every day.
If he drinks water.
Yeah, like if he's going to drink the water he should be drinking, like, or like his perception of me, like, you know, like I can't change any of those things. So I just have to like, okay, I can only control my mental state and how I react. Because that's actually the one thing I've learned over this process is like the reaction is very important. Because like, when we were, like I said before, when we were talking, like I was trying to make it as safe place as possible for you to be able to have your feelings felt and open up, because I've noticed with Cody, sorry, I said your name, but like I didn't feel comfortable at your house when he was there, because if I would say anything that was like feelings related, he would just instantly be like, you're stupid. And I'm looking back, a lot of our friendships were like that. Like only reason I think me and you are still friends is because we've always been open and honest with each other.
Yeah, we've always been able to cry, and you know, we would have a fight and then we'd be like hugging it out the next minute. Like, or like, you know, our perfection episode, we don't agree. Yeah. We still are like,
we still don't agree on that one.
Out, right? And we're like, no, people agree with me. But I mean, we can laugh about that because everybody has a difference of opinion, right?
And everyone's allowed to have a difference of opinion. I think our circle of friends was kind of toxic, because
100%.
realizing that like anytime I had an emotion, I would be made fun of.
Yeah, if you cried, you would be made fun of.
So I had to like hold that. You guys all taught me how to compartmentalize. Because I learned like, oh, I can't cry in front of these people because I'm just gonna get made fun of like crazy. And it's ridiculous. It's like, I didn't know, you know, you're in your teens, so no one knows how to like deal with your feelings and emotions.
Well, and being a teenager is hard enough.
Yeah, like, and you're going through your hormones, you know, and I'm a bigger girl at 16. Like I'm over 200 pounds dealing with all of that anxiety. And then having like a broken home, like is not the greatest. And so like, I don't know, I was upset, I'd cry. If I was mad, I'd cry. If I was frustrated, I'd cry, because that's the only emotion I knew how to use. And now I'm like, oh, I can just talk it out. I got to think about it first. And process. Like that's the one thing me and Eric talked about on the way home from the comedy show was like, he's like, it's funny with you. He's like, because what you'll do is you'll get upset in the moment. And then like an hour later, you'd be like, okay, so this is actually why I was upset. Because I'll think about it, be like, hey, why am I upset about something like this? Like, this is stupid. And sometimes it is just being dumb and there's no reason for it. Or I was like, oh, it was the tone. Because tone goes a long way.
We learned that.
Yeah. Tone is huge.
Learned that. Tone is... And I pick up on a lot of tones. So like if somebody's a little sharp with me, I'm like
me. I can be kind of sharp.
It does happen.
And I'll admit that I'm like that.
But
every
I
once
can
in a
also
while.
be like, Mel, that was sharp.
I'm like, shit.
Bring it back down.
Yep.
But we have an open communication.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I feel safe talking to you, because I know, like, you're not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. I mean, we have a business together, so we're kind of stuck.
I'm an institution, man. I ain't going anywhere.
Well, we've known each other for 20 years. So, like, we're not going anywhere.
Well, and we're learning, like, let's not eat our feelings. Let's talk about our feelings. We're trying to figure out this balance because, like, guys, 6 years here, she's 2 years. Like, it's still hard.
It's fucking hard. Just because you get half of your stomach or over half of your stomach removed, it doesn't stop those behaviors.
No, you actually have to figure out what your behaviors are, and then you have to acknowledge them, and then figure out how to. Acknowledging is a big deal.
That's hard.
Yeah, don't be in denial of it. Like, because what I've learned inside is, like, I don't have to tell people what my triggers are. No. I just need to know them.
You need to know them.
Yeah. So, like, I don't need to announce my triggers to a bunch of people and then feel like shit because they're going to make fun of me for it. Well, I just need to know inside, what are they? And then I get to change what I want to change on that. Because I used to be afraid. Like, you guys know I don't like talking about stuff like that because I'm, like, always afraid of someone making fun of me.
Because that's all you knew.
Because all I knew growing up was just like, oh, you have a feeling? Let's make fun of it. Like,
yeah, I mean.
So now I'm trying to learn.
I lived with that for 14 years.
Yeah.
You have a feeling? Let's make fun of it. You want to do something? Oh, that's dumb.
And I think a lot of people probably deal with that on a daily basis, especially the ones that are, like, ashamed and are scared. And we get those messages like I'm nervous to tell my family. And you know damn well that's one of the reasons.
Well, I think being obese, you deal with a lot more toxic.
You do.
In your life. So you deal with your toxic friendships because you're like, well, I don't deserve.
Yeah, you put up with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I think a lot of being with Satan was I thought, I mean, I've said it before, I was comfortable with being comfortable, right? But I also think at some point I was like, well, I don't deserve to have what I really want.
Absolutely.
And so now that it was forced on me, the decision was forced on me. I didn't and now I'm good with it. But I'm still kind of trying to come to grips with, like, what do I deserve?
Oh, yeah.
Do I deserve to be happy? Do I deserve to find somebody that, you know, loves me and cares for me and is going to actually want to be with me every day for the rest of my life?
Why is it deserve?
I don't know. I feel like I don't deserve it.
Why?
I don't know.
You're not a bad person. So, like, you deserve to be happy just like anybody else. And you know what? And there's some a-holes that are happy. You know?
Exhibit A, Satan.
Like,
well, we don't know if he's happy, but.
Right? Like, there are some pretty awful people out there that are extremely happy. And you're not even close to that. So, yeah, like, I think everybody on this earth deserves to be happy. Like, there's no reason for it.
I just think it's my internal, like, my brain
just
being like, you don't deserve this.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why the perfection episode we argued, because, like, you want to be perfect at all times.
Yeah, because I don't think I deserve it.
You don't deserve. Yeah, you think that you don't deserve it, so I have to be perfect, and then maybe if I'm perfect, then I'll deserve it. Yeah, and that's why we argue, because I'm like, I don't want to be fucking perfect, Kelly.
Yeah,
I'm done trying to be perfect. I did that in my teenage years, not doing it anymore. No.
Well, because for the last 14 years, that's all I wanted. Is I wanted to be perfect. I wanted to be the perfect wife. I wanted, you know, I battled with the fact that we got married and then I got sick. Yeah. And I couldn't be the perfect wife.
No, and it's hard because, like, you go into a marriage knowing someone, and then when that changes, like an illness, or even me, like, guess what, guys? Two weeks after I got married, I broke my leg. That's right, yeah. I had a spiral fracture from knee down, and all of a sudden Eric had to help bathe me. Like, we didn't have that dynamic yet. Like, we were close, but we were not close in that sense of, like, oh, you have to take care of me now. Like,
yeah, you literally have to just sponge bathe me.
Yeah. Like, this is like one leg's out, half body's in. We're going to figure this out together. So it's like all of a sudden, like, life happens, and then you have to, like, learn each other on a whole different level.
Oh, yeah. And I don't think we ever recovered from that.
I don't think so either. I think therapy
broke it.
Needed to be done there.
Most definitely. Yeah. I mean, I can pinpoint probably 5 times during our relationship where we should have gone to therapy.
Yeah. We're like, this is a time.
Yeah.
Because you were probably, and I saw it in the photos, because there's some photos that she posts, guys, that I've never seen before. And I'm just like, holy shit. Like, I don't even remember seeing you that big before. But you were coping with food.
I was coping with food. And so I wanted to touch on, so one of the therapists, she was discussing, why do you eat?
Oh, yeah.
And one of the things she mentioned was companionship.
Oh, yeah.
And that hit me really fucking hard. Like, I had to like sit back and
She did.
I was like, oh, what the fuck? Like, you just called me out and I know exactly what, like, I literally just want companionship because of the fact that I like to be around people.
Yeah.
I am a very social person. I've never wanted to be home.
Yeah. No.
And I mean, even from our teenagers.
I would say we both were
never home.
Never home. We were walking. We were at the movies, the mall, the bowling alley. Like, we were everywhere.
Anywhere we could be that wasn't home.
Wasn't home.
And so, but I'm living alone now, so I'm all alone. I don't have that companionship.
Nope.
Like, I have my puppies, right? So I have my puppy dogs, but they don't talk back.
Yeah, it's different because they don't talk back.
I could talk to them, but they don't talk back.
Right.
I mean, it'd be kind of cool if they did, but they don't. And so I think I kind of grasp at food to kind of fill that like companionship,
that
social aspect void.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, what the fuck? So now I know that I'm doing it.
Well, and it's like, you're not the only one. I know that there's several people out there that do it, and I do it too, just it's in a different way. Mine just like, oh, Eric's not in the bedroom with me. I can get away with like X, Y, and Z.
Companionship.
There's a companionship thing there. Like, oh, well, I can hide. Like, I don't have to hide this. Like, I want a goddamn cookie. I'm going to go have a goddamn cookie.
Yeah.
Like, it was Father's Day yesterday, and I got Eric red vines. It was really funny because, like, he was in a grumpy mood coming back from, it was really hot in Portland and he had to drive back and traffic was horrible and my kid was driving. So it was a little stressful too. And so when he got back, I was just like, I'm the chipper one. I'm like, what's going on? And he's just like, meh.
He's like, back up a fucking step.
Yep, you are too hyper for me. And I was like, do you want me to make you something? And he's like, I just want the chicken from last night. Remember when we grilled the chicken?
Oh, that was really fucking good.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, then that's easy. I'll just go get some more chicken drum legs, right? And
drumsticks?
Yeah, drumsticks.
Drum legs.
Some legs, whatever they are.
Drum legs.
I was like, I can do that. That's totally fine. When I was there, I saw the red vines. So I was like, oh, I'm going to get him some red vines. And then I was like, he loves M&M cookies. But I like chocolate chip cookies. And I found a box that had both from Safeway. And they mixed, it was like a $5
Safeway's
pack.
Cookies are bomb.
Yeah. So that's what I was getting to is like, they're littler. So they're just like these little guys.
Okay.
But like, I had like, in a 2-hour period, and then I thought of one of the doctors when I did it. I was like, oh, I totally just binged because I ate like 8 of them. Not in one sitting, but it was like 8 within 2 hours.
It's fine. I had crumble cookie.
I was like, oh my God. I told Eric, I'm like, can we remove this from the bed? Because it was like on the bed.
Oh, that's why.
And I could, like, every time I looked over, I'm like, ooh, it's so good.
They're
like,
so yummy.
So I realized like it's the same thing. You can't bring it in the house. You just can't do it.
Can't.
And
but
you're going to have those moments.
But I also think you have to live your life.
Right.
You have to be able to say, okay, I'm going to buy these cookies. I'm going to eat however many I want. And I'm going to like move on past it. Like you can't, like I can tell you're holding on to that.
Yeah, because like I was like, fuck, that was a lot. That was a lot. I've never had 8 cookies before, to be honest with you. Normally I just buy a 2-pack from them and I just eat the 2 and then I'm done with it. But this was 8 of them and there's still some up there in my cupboard. So I'm just like, oh shit.
Oh, breakfast for Kelly.
I was like, I need these to be gone because I know that I'm going to want more later because I'm going to hear it. You know, from far away, I'm like, oh, it's back there. It's back there. Because that's like the food.
Melody got me my cookies.
Yeah. Like that's the food addiction in me. It's like, ooh. And that's why like today, like I got up, guys. I did the yoga. We went on a mile walk.
Yes, we did.
We had egg bites. We had our protein. So I have 12 grams of protein in already.
Got my coffee.
Do you got your Profi? Or is it just regular?
It's just coffee.
Just coffee.
Yeah.
And I got our water going. So it's like, yes, not that I messed up, but I lived my life last night. And now we're going to go right back to regular scheduled programming.
You know what? I'm going to stop you there. I love that term. I lived my life.
Yeah, I lived my life last night.
I don't think we should call it like a screw up or I like any of that. I think we literally should just say, I lived my life last night.
Yep.
I lived my life with that last meal.
Well, because I almost was going to say, like, I messed up last night. And it's like, no, I was just living my life.
Yeah.
Had the damn cookies. The next day, I'm on point.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do.
You did just gotta, all the right stuff today.
You got to just start fresh. And you can't beat yourself up because after talking to all those doctors, and I feel like I don't know, like fate was like on us because.
Oh, yeah.
Like we talked to Maybell, opened our eyes on everything.
Well, and then we started like
processing and thinking. And then like we had 2 doctors within a couple days of each other that totally helped us like reel stuff in and be like more on point and realize like stop beating yourself up because we are all of us. All you listeners too. We beat ourselves up and I'm sorry that you guys do this. We got to stop.
We got to stop.
That's one reason why we're changing the whole losers bench thing because I don't think we should be called losers.
No.
I understand that, yes, we're losing weight and we're on the bench to lose weight, but God damn it, we're not losers. And
we're not losers.
We should not have that in our vocabulary. And
we're winning. We're winning at life now.
Yeah. Like, let's do that. Let's talk about winning. And this whole like living your life. Stop saying, I had a bad. Yeah, I screwed up. I'm going to be mean to myself now. Now I'm going to go work out 20 hours, you know, be ridiculous.
Which is
a part of
the, what is it called? It's not the binging. It's the other one. What's the other one called?
I don't know.
Oh, I can't think of it. It'll come to me. But yeah, I think
it's part of it, punishing yourself.
You were literally just punishing ourselves.
Yeah.
And like the last month and a half, I've been doing nothing but punishing myself.
I would agree.
For something that is completely out of my control.
Well, and it's something that's not even your fault. I mean, like, yes, you play a part in your own divorce, of course.
Yeah, of course. I take complete ownership over that. Yeah.
Like, it takes 2 to do this. But, like, also, you're being really mean to yourself for stuff that you can't control with what he's done. Yeah. And all you can do is just move now forward from it. It's just, like, getting that part. Because you've been, like, the last month and a half, you've been punishing. And, guys, I even told her, I was like, I'm starting to get worried. Like, should I be worried? Where are we at right now? Because I don't know. I can see it. And I can see it was like slowly, gradually happening. And I was like,
And it was only getting worse.
Yeah, it wasn't getting better. So I was just like, I don't know what to do. And you guys know me. I want to fix. And then I take on the responsibility of your feelings. And I'm like, okay, I can't do that either. So what are we doing? Like, how do we fix this?
Yeah, because I'm like, you can't like... My feelings are my feelings.
Yeah.
And you can't take ownership of them because you don't, I mean, you can take, like, you can pinpoint a couple feelings.
Right.
But, like, you taking on my feelings, that's not your job. That's not your responsibility. Like, that's all on me. I got to take it. I got to figure it out for myself.
Yep.
And that's part of being, like, single is I'm trying to figure out these things for myself.
Right.
And, like, and that's one of the things is like when I was married, I would put whatever I had on my husband, right? Because that's your partner.
Yep.
But now I'm trying to like, this is me.
This is you.
This is me. I'm going to figure it out. I need to make my own decisions. And, you know, that's just what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So I need to be responsible for myself. And I can't do that if I'm constantly putting other stuff on other people.
Right. Yeah. Because like now you're in the process of learning like how to take it on by yourself.
Exactly.
Because you have had, you've been able to do that. And you should be able to do that with your partner. Like that makes sense. But now the partner's gone. So now you have to like internalize. That's probably why you're feeling all the feelings. Because now you have to.
I have to figure it out for myself. I can't put it on anybody else. And I just really think like you said, like I think the universe told us we needed to talk to people.
Yeah.
That were professionals.
Yep.
And obviously it wasn't like a therapy session for us, but like, because we asked questions that you guys sent us and all of that. But it was very eye-opening.
Yeah.
And like it helped really process like the depression and the anxiety is okay. You're fine. You can feel your feelings. But you just can't, you have to take that negativity out of it.
Well, and I think society has made it be like, oh, you have anxiety and depression. Like you're stupid. Like there's something wrong with you. And it's like, actually, I think with COVID, this is only pro thing about COVID is that now everybody got to see it.
Everybody got to see it. And like therapists are like totally normal now.
Yeah, because it's you should be seeing one. And the way that one of the doctors said it was like, actually, you should see one more when you're happy than you are when you're sad.
That was interesting because I never even
thought of that.
No.
Well, because our society says like, oh, you go when there's a problem.
Yeah.
And then they'll fix you. And it's like, actually, if you just go as a checkup, like you would, like the way that she explained it, it was just like you going in and getting your annual done.
Your teeth cleaned.
Your teeth cleaned. Yeah. So
like, if you go in only when it's bad, right? Your teeth are always going to be bad.
Right.
But if you go in every 6 months and you get your teeth cleaned.
Yeah. So do the same thing with therapy. Just have a check-in.
Yep.
And to make sure your relationship with the therapist is good.
Yes. She said test out therapists.
Yeah.
Like interview them basically. If you don't have a connection, peace.
Yeah. You know how some of you guys like interviewed your surgeons? Because there's some of you like that did like 3.
Yeah.
Some of them 5.
Yes.
Do the same thing with your therapist.
Yeah.
Find one that you gel with because that's the one that's going to help you. And she said that mainly it's because of like that relationship and that rapport is so important that as long as you have that, then you'll be okay. Like they'll give you the tools and you'll be able to work through it. But if you can't respect the person that you're talking to or have that like, you know, chemistry there, then it's going to be a lot harder.
Yeah.
A lot harder. And there are now like online sessions you can go to. Like
a lot of them are virtual now.
And there's some like apps out there, like the whole like Better Now. I think it's called
that's the one
that I sent you,
the
right?
one you sent me.
Yeah. So there's Better Now, and then there's like Face Helper, Brain Helper. I don't know. I'll have to look it up. But there's a couple now like you get discounts and you can actually just do the Zooms. Because I had a friend that lives in Portland and that's what she was doing. It was just all Zoom therapy.
Okay.
And then you can tell when the therapy was happening versus not happening. Because like that person I think needs to be on a regular basis. I think a lot of us really should be.
We should be checking in. We should be checking in with a professional and be like, this is where I'm at mentally. Like we all want to be mentally healthy, right?
Yeah.
We all want to be healthy physically.
Yeah.
But a part of that is being healthy mentally.
Well, yeah, and it's your brain. So we should be healthy, like having healthy brains. And it's okay to have someone talk to you and figure out like, oh, you know, we have a chemical imbalance here actually. Yeah. Because some people like you just don't know.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of chemical imbalance, that was another thing that played a part in my breakdown.
Yeah.
Was I was off of one of my meds for a while.
Oh, yes. The Cymbalta?
Cymbalta, yeah.
Cymbalta, yeah.
And that's my, like, mood, like, leveler.
Out of all the ones you stopped taking.
Well, because I ran out of it.
Yep.
And then I just didn't go to the pharmacy and get it because I just didn't even, like, think that it was that important. And I'm starting to learn that,
No, there's a reason why you're on it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I got back on that. Like, I feel 10 times better than I did.
Well, I noticed that you also have anxiety about going or something. Maybe it's not anxiety. You can tell me what it is. But of like you just going to get your meds. It's like you don't like to do it.
I don't like to do it. And I don't know if it's because Satan did it for so long.
Yeah.
Like that was his thing is he would go and get my meds. Or if I just like, because it's literally like a minute from my house.
Seriously,
like,
guys.
It's so close to my house. And I don't know why.
I don't know either.
Like, I mean, I really do like to pretend like I'm not sick. Like, I know I'm sick and I know I have, like, I have problems, right?
Yeah. But you gotta stay on your meds, though.
I don't like to admit it.
Which is fine.
I like to live in denial.
I know you do. I know you do.
A lot of issues. A lot of issues with me. I like to live in denial.
I'm learning that more and more.
Yeah.
But like, I told her guys, I was like, you cannot come in this house until you get your pills.
Yes.
I told her, like, I'm done with you not going. It's literally because she passes by it.
Yeah.
Depending on which way she goes, she wouldn't pass by it. But most of the time, she passes by it. So I'm just like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, and I even told her, like, am I going to have to go? Like, what are we doing here?
I know. I was like, no, I'll do it tomorrow. And she's like, you're not coming back in this house until you get it. And I was like, God damn it.
Yeah. It's
really
like,
have to go.
Come on. It's your meds, man.
But I did need my sleeping meds. And that one I will not go without. Like, I was like, okay, I'll go pick up all my meds now.
That's the one. That's the one.
That's the one. That one. And then my Lyrica I have to have.
Yeah, I will kill you if you don't take your Lyrica.
Yeah, because I'm like
the next day. It's
down.
It's less than 24 hours, guys. If she doesn't have that, like, it's a problem. So
Hold on.
something going on.
I just want to make sure because I keep seeing everything pop up. I just want to make sure. I'm sorry, guys.
It's okay.
Okay.
Are we okay?
Yep.
Everything good?
I just kept seeing the flash and I was like, oh, is something happening?
No, you're fine.
So that.
Oh.
Because it's your phone.
Oh my gosh.
Your phone's right there.
Oh, I didn't even know.
Yeah.
I was like, I thought I left it upstairs.
It's buzzing.
Ah.
Put it down there.
There we go.
So yeah, I just think that we don't really talk about mental health a lot.
No.
Like we talk about like the brain, like the mental part of it.
Right.
But we don't talk about depression, anxiety, all of those things that kind of play a part.
Well, it's scary.
It's very scary.
Yeah. And a lot of people feel nervous about talking about it because then they think they're going to get like looked down on.
Well, and there is a stigma for mental health.
Almost everything we do, there's a goddamn stigma. It's like, oh,
just
you're obese. There's a stigma. Oh, wait.
Surgery?
There's a stigma. Oh, you have mental problems. Oh, there's a stigma.
Yeah.
So it makes sense why all three of these are kind of like in line with each other because we've been told that it's not okay to not like, I know in my family, like therapy was like, nope, not happening.
Mine was the
Suck
exact
that
opposite.
shit up.
Yeah. Mine was the exact opposite. We cried, we yelled, we did all of the things. My mom was very pro therapy. Like she was like, oh, you need to see a therapist? Okay, here you go. And she would make the appointment.
Yep.
But like your family was not like that.
No. Fuck no. Not happening.
Which is funny because you're more open about your feelings now and I'm more closed off about my feelings.
Right. It is a little interesting.
It should be the opposite, right?
You would think that it would be. I think the surgery and then Eric played a big part of that because he would tell me all the time, he's like, I can't read your mind. And I'm like, oh yeah, you're not up in this brain. I realized you have no fucking idea.
You're not up in this brain.
Well, because there's time like, you know, when you're like, you're mad, right? And so you start playing like how are we gonna have this conversation? And you start going all the different scenarios like, oh, if I say that, we're gonna get in really big trouble. If I do this, then we're gonna like argue. So like I'd finally get to the right spot of where I think we can have this conversation. And then I would say the things and then the reaction would be different than what I thought. And so it was funny because like he looked at me he's like, what's wrong? And I was like, you had a different reaction than I thought you were going to have. And he goes, yeah, I had a feeling that's what it was. He's like, he's all, whatever fantasy you played in there, like, think about it and come to grips with it. I'm not the person that you had in your head. And I was like, good point. Good point.
That is a good point.
And so now I realize that's why I think a lot because I realize like, oh, why am I like, and we talked about it with the doctors too. It's called cognitive thinking. So it's like actually thinking about why are you feeling this way? Because I used to not do that. And I would feel like people would make fun of me if I did. But then I realized, how would they know? How would they know that I did this process in my own head?
Yep.
They have no clue unless I tell them.
No.
So like, I'm like, I'll just do it because it seems to be working. Like it seemed to help.
Yeah. Thinking things through. Yeah.
And then telling people your thought process and how you got there. Because like you'll say all the time, you're like, I just love the way your brain works. And then Eric's like, I love your logic there.
Yeah.
He's like, I see how you got there now. Because I can get us from A to Z real quick. And he'll be like, how the fuck did that happen?
Well, and I'm backwards. Like
she is backwards.
So Mel does A to Z, right?
Yeah.
I'll go Z to A. Like that's how my brain thinks.
Yeah.
Because I want to see what's the end result? And then let's go backwards and figure out why it started.
Yeah.
Like that's...
we are vice versa.
Yeah.
That's why we have to communicate better because like we'll be thinking we're on the same page, but really we're not. And it's because I'm going linear and she's going reverse. So it's like, oh, okay, hold on. How do we get in the middle?
Yeah. We got to meet in the middle and then we'll figure it out. And so we're just learning to communicate a little bit better, which, I mean, communication plays a huge part in my mental health.
Yes.
If I can talk to somebody and I know that they're understanding me and not judging me.
It's the judge.
I feel better.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm like actually healing versus, okay, let's brush that under the rug. Yeah. And we're just going to pile more shit on top of it.
Well, and you're used to that. And I'm not used to that. So I'm like, well, we need to talk.
And that's why I go backwards. because I'm used to being like, okay, what's the end result? Okay, let's go. Okay. And then let's brush it under the rug.
Yeah. That's annoying. I'm sorry you have to do that. Or that your brain does that because of what you went through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So something that I don't think I've ever told anybody this. So every time, so you know when you're like
breaking news, guys.
Breaking news with OSLP.
Yeah.
So you know how when you're in the car, or you're laying in bed or something, and like you'll think of like your life or whatever, and you'll smile.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Or cry, because I do that.
You're not supposed to cry about your life.
Well, there's sad parts.
Okay. So the happy parts.
Okay, cool.
Like when you're like in the car and you're like singing music and you're like, I really love my life right now, right? Okay. So every time I do that, something goes wrong.
Oh.
So I don't do that.
You don't like have the happy feelings anymore? Or?
No, I don't smile.
You don't smile.
Yeah. So like when you're having happy thoughts and you're just in the car and you're just smiling and having a good time, like I'll laugh if I'm talking to somebody and like I'll smile in person.
Okay.
But when I'm by myself,
no,
I don't acknowledge that this is a good part in my life.
Oh, so you need to figure out like the smiling's okay. Like feeling fun is okay and happy, even by yourself.
And even if something does go wrong, it's okay.
Well, and it's not because you're happy before that the thing.
That's the way my brain works.
Well, that's an anxiety thing. The whole like waiting for the other shoe to drop.
That's definitely me.
Yeah, because I did that for years. I remember I used to always have this pit in my stomach for years with between my mom and Eric and stuff. Like it would just be like, ugh. And it was funny. I remember I was with Amy. We just saw a scary movie. We were driving home and I was like, the pit's gone. And she's like, what do you mean? And I was like, I don't know. I've noticed the last couple of days, the pit's gone. Like, I don't have any like, like in your throat or in your stomach. She's like, that's interesting. I didn't know that you had that. And I was like, yeah, like I would feel just like, okay, when is something bad going to happen? Like, I noticed that anytime I get a bonus at work, I could never actually use it because it'd be like, oh, the dishwasher broke or the washer and dryer broke or something's wrong with the car. And like slowly that wasn't happening. And then like, me and Eric stopped fighting for long periods of time and realizing like, oh, everything's actually okay. And stop like worrying or thinking that the other shoe is going to drop. So like that took, I think, until like 4 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's a whole thing.
Yeah. I'm constantly waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Well, you're going through a trauma right now, though.
I am. I am going through a trauma, and I'm definitely like there are lots of steps in getting divorced. Apparently, I'm learning all about it. And so I don't know when things are happening. I have no timeline.
No.
So I'm like just waiting for something bad to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's just like an anxiety and depression on itself.
Oh, yeah. Like that pit that you're talking about, that's what I have in my stomach.
Yeah.
Like
all the time, right?
All the time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a constant.
Especially when I come into contact with Satan.
I used to think that I had ulcers until I got checked and they're like, no.
It's just a worry. It's like a worry pit.
Yeah. It's like an alert. You're like, ooh, you're just always hyperly alert. But they do say from like people that are latchkey kids.
Latchkey?
Yeah. So basically like when you got home from school, your parents weren't home and you had to take care of yourself. A lot of that comes from that because you're always on high alert, making sure like, because you had to take care of yourself. So I'm like, oh, that makes more sense. Because that's all we did was take care of ourselves or each other.
I mean, from like age 14 to.
Yeah.
I mean.
Probably 12 for me.
I'm trying to think. But I might have been like 12.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think when because my mom went to college. Your mom goes to college.
Your mom goes to college.
My mom started college when she was 36.
Yeah.
And she did 4 years. So she was 40. I'm trying to think of when.
Well, how old are you guys apart? Or like how many years apart are you?
I don't know.
Well, you're 35. How old's your mom?
67.
67. So you're 32 years apart. So you were, no way. That's. What? Really? You guys are 32 years apart?
Yeah, my mom was older.
Well, then that means you were 4 or 5 when she was going through college.
No.
That's what I'm
right.
saying.
Okay. We'll just move on.
We'll move on for that. Sorry, guys.
But yeah, I think it was probably like 10 or 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that's like where the food comes in too. Like you're only taught what you got, and then that's what you did. Like you just ate all that food because you're just like, I don't know, but I'm gonna get food again, or I need comfort, I need companionship.
Yeah.
So we were eating young and not knowing why.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's.
And I have daddy issues.
Yeah, your dad wasn't around. So, I mean, there's like a whole thing to unravel of why, like, one, we became obese in the first place. And
Which
then,
would you talk about with one of the therapists?
And then the fact of like getting the surgery and now unpacking like, oh, all the backstory of why we got to this point and how do we change our behaviors? Because what we were taught wasn't the greatest, guys, obviously.
It was not. It was not the greatest.
And I'm sure y'all can relate. Like,
and I mean, our parents did the best that they could, right?
Yeah, they did. This is how I see it. They did the best that they could with the tools that they had at the time.
Correct.
So I'm not mad at my parents for what they had. I'm annoyed that they didn't try harder.
But they don't.
That's the only thing.
Know to try harder.
Yeah, I guess not.
Like, I mean, they didn't know. They didn't know. So you can't try harder if you don't know.
If you don't know what you're doing is actually messing them up.
Yes.
Yeah. Because obviously I have some issues with family still. Just like angry.
Well, I mean, I think we all do, right?
Yeah.
I mean, your issues are your issues. I mean, I don't know how much you want to go into detail. So, but I mean, I think we all, like, I have daddy issues.
Right.
You have issues with the way you grew up and like that they didn't try harder, but you know.
Well, they just weren't like, because like with Dylan, and because of going through all this, like I like to check in with Dylan at least once or twice a day. Because like he's a teenager now, so he doesn't want to hang out with me. So like, but every time he comes upstairs, I try to be like, what are you doing downstairs? How's it going? Do you need anything? Like just really trying to check in to make sure like he's mentally and physically okay. And no one, and that's why I don't share stuff, is because they never checked in. They were just like, oh, she's home from school. Grades done? Just like, how are we doing? Good. All right. Chores done? Good. Okay. Peace. Like that wasn't, they just wanted to make sure I was fed, clothed, and got good grades. And so, but no one checked in on Melanie's mental state or how it, like, just how are you doing today? Like that never really came out of people's mouths. It was just like high strung, high stress. I have to go here, here, and here, and no one would check in on us. So it was just like, I need check-ins. And so I do check-ins with Dylan, and I tell Eric like, hey, you need to check in on us. Cause like he'll do that every once in a while. I'm like, hey, your family, especially during COVID, like when we first were all together, I'm like, you got to check in on us. Yeah. Because we're not doing okay. But like he's excluding himself too. Like we're all not doing okay. We all need to like, let's have a family dinner. Like,
yeah, you need to be together. You need that like companionship part of it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's normal we crave companionship.
Yeah, humans do.
That's why, like, most people don't like being single.
Yeah.
Like, because you crave that companionship and that, like, loving. Yeah. Like, even if you're, like, not there with your person, you know, of loving, saying I love you or whatever.
Yeah.
You crave that touch, that, like, you know.
Well, we're social creatures.
We are.
That's why it was really hard for people during COVID times, because they got restricted. And that's when they realized, oh, mental health is an issue and we need to take it seriously because like you don't know what's going on in someone's head and how they're feeling unless you ask. And like employers were realizing, oh, I need to not be dicks about them calling out because they need a mental day. Yeah. Because people are killing themselves.
That needs to be a norm. Yeah. For jobs. Like that you have a certain number of like mental health days. Because there are some days where it's like you just need to be in your own head. Like you just need a break from everything. And 100%. I mean, you say it, I say it. Like I'll be like, I'm done. I can't handle anything else. Like I'm going to go home and lay down and watch TV. Yeah. Like I'm just going to, my term is zone out.
Zone out. Yeah. I need to not try to like learn something new or make any decisions right now. I need to be removed from that process for 24 hours.
Oh my God. Yes. And I mean so You guys, I built a whole website.
Yeah, she did.
I built an entire fucking website by myself.
Yep.
I was so fucking proud of myself.
You should be. It's amazing.
But I stared at a computer for 15 hours in one day.
Yep.
Like I was up at like 5 a.m. and I did not stop until close to 10.
Yeah.
So yeah, 15 hours, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was, and by the time I was done, I was like, I can't do anything.
It's like I can't function. I'm gonna lay down.
Nope. I don't want to watch a show that I have to pay attention to. I don't want anything. I just want to like completely zone out.
Mm-hmm.
But it was worth it.
Go check it out because it's
check it out.
Beautiful.
It's oursleevedlifepodcast.com.
That's right. Well, yeah, because like we're revamping. So FYI, it's coming soon.
Yes.
We're rebranding,
July.
getting some new stuff. So you guys will see it in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, like we've been hardworking. We want to make sure that we're giving out accurate information and
good content,
and just relatable because we are regular people and we have problems.
We have mental issues. We have mental health.
Yeah.
I mean, we are normal fucking people.
Yeah. And that's the deal is like, we're not the people that like got the surgery and then are going to be like an athlete.
No.
Okay.
No.
We're your regular Joe Smo down the street that's just like trying to live the life and not go crazy.
We're doing the best we can.
Yes.
And sometimes that's all we need. Like just do the best you can for that day. If it wasn't your greatest, that's okay.
Well, it was funny because like, you know how like we're trying to celebrate the small victories, right?
Yes.
And we try to make sure like when we see it, acknowledge it.
Mm-hmm.
So funny story, when I was, when we went and saw Tom Papa, we were going to meet my brother at a Japanese restaurant and we were running late and I told him like, hey, this is when we're leaving, all the things like, all right, cool. And then he like midway of driving there, he's like, how far are you? I'm well, hey, it says we're going to be there at this time. He's like, cool. We decided not to go back to the house. We're just going to walk around and be outside. And my first instinct was like, my Marco back was good job.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's awesome. I'm glad that you just did that.
Yeah.
And then his Marco back was like, did you really just say good job to me for not going home and just being outside?
Yes,
and I was like,
that is a non-scale victory.
I'm like, these are the things that you should celebrate because before, you know damn well, you wouldn't have done that.
No, he would have gone home. He would have laid on the couch, played video games or whatever.
And waited. Yeah. And now you're outside, walking around, enjoying the scenery, checking out shops.
Yeah.
Like, that's a whole different dynamic. So it's like, celebrate the little shit. Like, you are just human. And sometimes you like just getting up and making your bed is just like a win for the day.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes we can't make it through the day and little things like that will be like, it's helpful.
There were some days during that like month and a half where it was like, I got a bottle of water and good job, Kelly.
You did it. Yeah.
That was all I had. That was all I had because I was just like.
And that's okay. Like, guys, celebrate the victories.
And if you're having an off day, just, give yourself like one goal.
Right.
And like, if that's, I brushed my teeth today.
Yeah.
Good job.
Washed your face.
Yep.
Something.
Yep.
Put on deodorant. I don't know.
Like something. Or even if it's like, I made one phone call that I needed to make. Great.
Yeah, because we know like we hate making those appointments, those phone calls.
Why is it so hard?
And like I love it because watching Kelly, it's hilarious. It's like she doesn't want to go get her pills. She doesn't want to make phone calls and she hates the post office. And they're all next to each other.
I don't mind the post office.
You wait like a motherfucker.
Oh, I do wait.
She waits till her pills are needed to go to
they're right next door.
I know.
Well, and then I loop in Winco because it goes the grocery store and then it goes the Rite Aid for the pharmacy, and then it goes the post office.
Yeah.
So I usually do Winco. I'll do all my shopping, and then I'll walk down.
Just one big swoop.
Sometimes I'll drive.
Oh my God,
so
Kelly.
I know.
You could walk on all of those.
I know. But when you're at Winco, I'm going to justify it really quick. I don't know how many groceries I'm going to have.
Yeah.
So usually I'll do my grocery shopping and park down there. And then I'll put all my groceries in. And then I'll drive down to the middle.
Oh,
and then I'll hit Rite Aid and then
you're hilarious.
The post office. But yeah, there's sometimes where I've driven to all three.
Oh my God. Guys, they're like legit walking distance.
they are.
Like when we first started, like after surgery, we would park in the back of everything and walk, right? So we're like, gotta get your extra steps. By the way, that really, really helps.
It does.
I totally probably gained a mile extra in by just doing that. Like from every place I'd go to. But now that's what we do. Like same thing with you, but the Winco over here is next to like a Dollar Tree, a liquor store and stuff like that. So we'll literally like go put all of our stuff in the car.
There's a liquor store over there?
Yeah, I didn't know that. And so that's where we went on Saturday because it's right next to it. Yeah. So literally we just put all of our stuff in the car and then we walked over to the liquor store and then grabbed that and walked back to our car.
Good to know.
Yeah. And then the Dollar Tree.
The liquor stores are.
So liquor. Kelly has been lushing.
So it's called Lushy.
Yeah, she's calling it a lushy.
I'm being lushy right now.
Yes.
I have very much been enjoying my liquor.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Lushy is slushy, but with alcohol. I don't know why I like that term, but
you're hilarious.
I am just enjoying living life.
Yeah. I think that's fine.
I don't feel like it's an issue. I don't really drink at home anymore. I was having like a glass of wine every now and then at night. I don't really do that.
Okay.
It's more social.
Yeah. And it's summertime. And what I've noticed with myself is like, so you probably noticed on Saturday, like we would do a shot tequila and then I would just drink water the whole rest of the time.
I know. And I'm like, shot of tequila drink.
Yeah.
Shot of tequila drink. I did not get my water in on Saturday.
Yeah,
that did not happen.
I was excited. I totally did. I was like, hell yeah. Because that's how I balance. Because it's like I've learned, because I'm a little bit later in the years of the whole drinking game. And I've learned if you can just take your drink. And we do straight liquor, guys. And there's a reason why. Because one, the sugar content in most of your mixed drinks are insane. Insane in the membrane. So if you can get it as much natural as you can, do it. Because like I've counted the calories. There's like 50 calories in our tequila shots.
Oh, that's not bad.
Not at all.
Well, I mean, I did. Okay.
She's like counting all the ones she did. But that's the deal. Is like when you have straight liquor, it's easier on your belly, on your liver, and then for processing, because most of your hangovers are two things: dehydration and too much sugar. So
I didn't know about the sugar.
Yeah. So like when you have those like strawberry lemonades with vodkas, it's really the sugar content is just way too high.
They're too sweet. Okay. So I was at dinner last night and I ordered this passion punch thing. I don't know what it was. It was so sweet. I didn't even I drank probably this much of it.
Yeah.
I was like,
it's too much, man.
No, because when we drink, you do my margaritas, but it's just like,
it's lemon and lime.
It's lemon and lime, and then I do a little bit of orange juice or pineapple juice.
Yeah. So literally, like it's very simple, clean, as clean as you can get.
And it's very tart. Like it's not sweet. And oh God, that was so gross last night. I was like, oh.
Yeah. And that's why I know like no hangovers. And if like we all know, like if you're drinking before you go into surgery, like if you're a drinker or if you like to socialize like that, like it's going to happen afterwards. So you just got to prepare. Like it's just like any other day. Like when we prep for our like workouts and our food, you just got to prepare for what you're going to drink. So before drinking, make sure you eat all your protein. That's what we were doing. Like make sure you have those things in line. Drink your water in between.
Exactly.
Because like I had my hydrate bottle and it was flashing at me and I was like, all right, girlfriend, you need a drink. Sweet. We're going to have some water.
And that's why I like these.
I really do.
Because the bottom lights up and like I'll just have it sitting on my nightstand and I'll see it out of the corner of my eye and I'm like, oh, fuck, I gotta drink some water.
And that's what's okay. So we weren't sure we were going to like them just because like they're pretty high tech. Like they balance.
I think mine died.
Is yours dead?
Yeah.
So there is like, you just got to charge it like once every 4 to 5 days. Yeah, and it takes really quick to charge too.
Oh yeah.
But the deal is that like, it's interesting. It weighs all the water.
Yeah. So it gets in, you have an app. And it literally, it records everything.
As long as you put it on a flat surface, every time it's on a flat surface, it calculates what's left in there. And so I didn't think that I was going to like it. And then all of a sudden it's like, hey, you need a drink. Hey, you're doing this. Like it gives you little achievements. It's like you saved a case of water this week.
Of bottled water.
Bottled water. Like it's all about the plastic, like saving the plastic because guys, it's really bad.
Yeah.
Because what I've learned, I watched this documentary to where like when you're recycling, like we're recycling, right?
Mhm.
So only 1% of all recyclables are actually recycled.
Oh, that's
There's
sad.
so much that you can't break down still. It's insane. And even with your people that's like advertise like, oh, you're using a product that's been recycled. It's like a really small percentage that's actually the recycled parts.
Huh.
Yeah. So it's very important to have these bottles that are reusable because the landfills are building up. Our fishes and our sea creatures are dying. And literally like China doesn't want our garbage anymore. Like they're sending it back. They're like, nope, that's not ours. Because they're mad at us because we can't recycle right. So, like, it's ridiculous. So we have to find ways to be clever. One, liquid death is pretty freaking cool. It's water. It's sparkling water.
Yeah.
And it looks like a beer can.
Yep.
So dudes feel so comfortable drinking out of it. But they're all about replacing, like, the plastic bottles. And they actually send 10% of all proceeds go to fighting the plastic bottles and shit like that. And these hydrates are fucking perfect for it because they tell you, they're like, hey, it's time to drink. And then I'm like, oh, how did I already reach my goal? It's
I know.
It's like 2
so
in
weird.
the afternoon, 3 in the afternoon. Like one day I hit almost like 80 to 90. It was pretty crazy.
And what I love, okay, where did I put the app?
So it's called the Hydrate app.
I think I put it in there.
And I love, like, they even give you little, like,
so if you have the video, you'll see this.
Yeah.
But
it says 0, guys.
It's sinking. I've had 1 ounce. I've had 1 ounce, guys.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, 6 ounces.
6 ounces.
It was still calculating. So, but it's really cool because it tells me like I'm at 11% of my goal. I have 2.5 bottles to go. And then it tells you like if you have a streak of days that you're on point. They even have coupon codes, which don't use that one, use ours. It's OSLP. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you guys know that we don't talk about things that we don't like. Like,
no.
If we don't like it, we're not going to talk about it. No. And these bottles, like, we were both like, yeah, they're cool. Like, we'll use them. Like, we'll try them out. And then like 2 days later, we're like, I love this fucking bottle.
Yeah,
like,
this is crazy.
And you have to get the straw one. Like,
the straws are important.
Yeah.
I know some post-op people are nervous about the straws.
Just take it
Remember, it's up to you and your body and try it out.
Should I do my description?
You want everybody to hear you take a drink? I'm confused. What also is cool is that it links to your Apple Watch or your or your Android watch.
It does. And so it'll remind you on your watch, like, hey.
Well, and it's like little phrases.
Yeah.
It's very cute. It's like, hey, I think you need water now.
Yeah. So it's really, I mean, it's worth it to me.
It is. It's helped me this last, like, for the days that I'm down, like, where I just don't want to do anything, it's helped me at least be that's on point.
Yes.
So at least we can say, you know what? I did not hit my protein goal today. I didn't do the physical challenge, but you know what I did do? I got all my water in. So like if we can get something out of like our 3 challenges done, I feel at least somewhat accomplished.
Yeah. I'm getting there.
Because it's hard. We all know it's hard. And so like we're not trying to say like this is easy. It's not at all.
This whole like episode I think is really pinpointing how not easy it is.
Yeah.
Like, not only are you going through a lot physically, but then mentally, and then you add in depression, anxiety, binge eating symptoms. I mean, you name it, we're going through it.
Life triggers, because we all know like work is stressful. Some people got laid off during this process. Some people are getting divorced during this process. You know, people are dying. Like, life is going to happen regardless of us having a surgery or not. So we have to figure out what are the tools to get us through the humps.
Yeah. And I think finding a bariatric therapist is going to be really important. And I'm actually going to do some research for myself because I think that's where I need it.
I think so too. And she said if you are not finding a lot in your area, check on behavioral therapists.
Yes.
Because they're pretty much they're very similar because they're helping us break those behaviors that we've learned.
Or eating disorder therapists are going to have kind of the same thing. She said to double check with them so when you call, like make sure that that's a part of where they're at.
Be like, "Hey, I've had bariatric surgery. Do they specialize in that?
Mm-hmm.
Do they know anything about it?
And then once we drop the therapy episodes, we do have some .coms that we can give you to do some research.
Yeah.
She did give us some areas to check out.
Yeah.
And you can also look on the, what is it?
SMB.
BS?
Yeah.
ASMBS?
Because I know it ends with Bariatric Society, so it knows that it ends with
so
BS.
it's AMBS. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Someone listening to us is like, it's this.
Yeah, right. They're like yelling in their car.
But that one is a good one because that is completely like all bariatric sites. You can learn a lot off of that site. It's not just for therapy.
Really
it's
fucking cool,
the
actually.
The whole shebang.
Yeah. So you can do some research on there and see if you can find a bariatric therapist in your area.
Yeah, because Dr. Dovak used that to help us with the pregnancy episode.
She did.
So if you guys haven't listened to that, go check it out because that was also something that happened in June is that we got to learn a lot about pregnancy stuff. And I didn't really know much about it because I don't care to have a child again.
And I can't have kids.
Yeah. So it was very eye-opening, all the things and how she's like, hey, girlfriend, just because you're not ovulating does not mean you're not fertile. Like you could still get pregnant. And so like you have to be careful on those things because
I don't want kids.
And also after surgery, like that's going to be higher. You have higher risk of getting pregnant, right? Isn't that what we found out?
Yeah. But I mean, I haven't been on birth control for
a while. Like a while. A few years.
At least 4 years.
Yeah.
I've not been on birth control.
It's been crazy.
So, but I also, TMI for the guys, pause it or like fast forward 10 seconds. I don't have a period. I don't ovulate. I don't have any of those symptoms of having a child, which is good because I don't want them.
Yeah, I don't want
them. I love my nieces. I love my nephews. No.
Yeah.
You get to go home and I get to have my puppy dogs.
There you go. And if for those that do, because we know baby fever is a thing.
Oh, totally
just wait until the second year. Like once you get the first year over is what they were saying.
When you hit goal weight.
Which is typically out like right around the 1 year mark to 18 months. So,
but be careful. But yeah, go listen to the episode. Yeah. It's really eye-opening. It's there was a lot of information that we didn't realize.
Yeah. And we have so we did the sleeve. So you guys, if you guys haven't watched the surgery, go check it out on our YouTube because that thing was rad.
It was so fucking cool.
So fucking cool. And we have the bypass coming up.
Yeah, for all you bypassers.
Yeah, you get to see it. It's really, really interesting.
It's more interesting than the sleeve.
It is. Because you're like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Like it's like, I don't get how this works. And then once it all comes together, you're like,
like that makes more sense.
That's how it works.
Why it's called the bypass, why it's called the R&Y. Like there's reasons why they call out things the way that they do. And you'll see. So definitely go check that out. It's going to be released after this episode, like a few days later. So go to YouTube,
Monday,
all those things to check it out. So,
Sunday at midnight.
Yeah, Sunday at midnight.
Right?
Well, I guess like Monday at midnight.
Yeah,
because it rolls over.
We are going to change up. We're going to be doing the revamping of everything. So the episodes are going to be releasing on a different day.
Yes.
So just be aware of that.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll tell you more about it as it gets closer. And yeah, I think that's.
Is there anything else you want to add to this episode?
No, I think it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I do want to add something.
Okay.
If you guys, any of you guys are dealing with any mental health issues, you're having, you just need somebody to talk to, you have a question that you need answered or something that you're not getting answers to, I mean, feel free to message us.
Yeah. We respond.
We do respond. And there is a section on our website. If you go to the Dr. Dovak one, scroll all the way to the bottom, there is a message spot.
Yeah, and you can ask questions because we're going to be with Dr. Dovak once a month, no matter what. So you have questions, submit them there so we can be ready to go for her.
Or if you just have a question for us.
Or just a question for us.
So us or Dr. D, it's there. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. We have an email. So just any of those places, if you guys are dealing with anything and you just need a little support or you need a website to look for help, like reach out. We're here. That's what we're here for.
That is literally what we're here for. So don't feel scared to message us.
And there's no judgment.
No judgment. Because that's the biggest deal. We fucking hate judgment. So we're not going to judge anybody with your questions or concerns.
Judgment-free zone.
100%.
Yep. No matter what you say.
No matter what.
Even if you're living your life every day.
Yeah, live that life, man. Live that life.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. One last thing is actually go to patreon.com/OSLP. That way you can see these videos because only people that get the check-in videos are our patrons. So if you want them, go be a patron. It helps support us so we can travel and we can always have these episodes go out to you guys.
Yeah.
So thank you again, and we will see you next time. Bye. Hey, listeners, if you have enjoyed your time with us, please rate, review, and subscribe on any platform you get your podcast. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Join us on patreon.com/OSLP where you can get exclusive content. We would like to give a big thank you to Anne-Marie Cruz for our logo, Nick Dukes for our web design, Dylan Godfrey for our editing, and Eric Fawn with 17th Street Studios for our music and recording space. Thank you for listening to our Sleeve Life podcast. We are breaking the stigma of weight loss and weight loss surgery one episode at a time.